Hey lads, my name is Skychrew and welcome everybody to Film Theory, Game Theory, Film Theory and a lot of theories channels. The complete lore of Backrooms solved. Finally, we get to see a full explanation what's been happening behind the Backrooms story by Kane Pixels. Then of course it was made by MatPat as well, the theory itself. The complete lore of Backrooms solved. What's next? What is next now in Backrooms? What there is to do now? What's the solution now to everything? Check this out. I'm gonna record without the light because this video is long and I don't want the light literally torture my eyes for 25 minutes straight. So you don't know why it's like this, a bit of dark. At least it's natural light. Shout out to the membership of this channel, Ricky Audet, Tatsy Verb, and Slothias Fem, and Iron Chunk for supporting this channel. You guys rock. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting this channel. Let's move on to the video, you know? Thanks. Let's go. Subscribe if you can. Oh shit, running already! What a beginning! There's an entity behind you! Run, dude! Run, dude! Did you make it out? No, pretty sure no. That's a short run, dude. Just him breathing is already giving it away.
The lore! I have to show you the lore!
Oh shit, the lore! We're running away from game theory.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory!
Yes.
The show that knows that going on to YouTube can be like no clipping into the back rooms.
How you know?
Minding your own business when suddenly it's days later and you have no idea how you've watched so many padlock reviews.
A very, very beefy and very robust lock.
Beefy?
Would you look at the shackle on that baby? Shout out to Lockpicking Lawyer, by the way, for teaching me way more about locks than I thought a human brain could consume. Anyway,
you know?
Today we're returning to the mono-yellow walls and ceaseless hum-buzzing fluorescence of the back rooms. In case you need to catch up, the Backrooms is an analog horror series here
4
on
million
YouTube.com
subscribers.
created
That's
by
a lot of
indie
lockpickers.
filmmaker Kane Pixels.
Yes.
The initial video Kane uploaded in January of 2022 absolutely exploded in popularity, gaining over 43 million views
That's a
and
lot.
becoming the 7th most watched video on YouTube of the entire year.
Whoa!
All thanks to its unique atmosphere, clever scares,
Crazy,
and
though.
fantastic production quality. It was
True, though.
also built for theorists like us, filled to the brim with awesome ideas and hidden lore for us
Too
to
much
decode.
hidden lore.
In fact, towards the end of the year, Steph and I even gave Kane Pixels a Streamy Award to honor him for all his incredible work.
This is a box that was delivered to my house.
So, Kane Pixels, here. Did I just no clip into the back rooms? Kane, I went to the back rooms and I got you this.
I'm just so honored to be accepting
cool.
this. So I guess really the only thing I can say right now is thank you.
But now
Hey, Kane
here we are,
Pixels.
1 year later from that initial upload, now with a story that spans 4 decades of time
so it's
and
different.
15 videos. Plus
That's
a few
how you do
secret
it.
videos mixed in. The community has come up with a ton of ideas to explain
I didn't
this
know
thing.
this.
Everything from alternative realities colliding to the Backrooms being an incarnation of the ancient Egyptian afterlife. Our running theory
I
here
don't
is
know.
that the world that we see in the Backrooms is some sort of simulation, like a giant video game or the Matrix. What we know of as the
I don't
real
know.
world is the topmost layer of that simulation. But below the surface, there's an infinite procedurally generated world of unused and cut content. Stuff that
Interesting.
either didn't fit or just wasn't good enough to make the cut for the real world. And
Well,
while I
yeah.
still believe that to be the case, today I wanted to take a step back and reset. The Backrooms is a tricky series to talk about. Nothing is presented in chronological order, and things tend to jump back and forth in time, with some
Backrooms.
earlier videos referencing events from later videos that haven't technically happened yet. Heck, the very first video that Kane
The
ever
found
uploaded
footage.
is currently one of the last ones in the timeline. So today,
Why?
I wanted to
How?
do something a little different.
That
I
doesn't
wanted
make
to
sense.
sit down and make a definitive timeline of exactly what's happened and when, so we can get ourselves a clear
That's better,
overview
yes.
of everything that's going on in this giant
need it,
mystery
we
that
need it.
Kane's crafting. And in
What's
doing
the
this,
first-
and seeing what fits where, and more importantly, what doesn't fit where, we'll be able to learn a lot more about this story. Spoiler alert, friends, there appears to be a massive time loop we're dealing with, and we might just
Really?
be witnessing the collapse of an entire universe. Jump into
Yikes.
those hazmat suits and hold on to the red guideline, friends. We're going in. The very first event that we
The
see in the series
Backrooms.
actually comes from the most recent upload as I'm writing this script,
Really?
Overflow. This video takes place on August 7th, 1972, as
Well,
we can
yeah.
see thanks to the signature of a man named Ivan Beck. Over the course of this 2-minute video, we also hear a radio
Well, shoot.
broadcast about the Lend-Lease Agreement, which happened between the United States and USSR in, you guessed it, 1972. We watch
Well,
as
shoot.
an electrical or radio station is overtaken by a green glow that shakes everything violently before suddenly cutting to black.
What
Look at
the
that green
hell?
light. It's going to be important for us later. The video ends
How did
with the
that
night
change
sky
my
now
face
mirror
here?
reflected. Something in this
Backrooms.
universe has
I didn't even touch
fundamentally
even.
changed. From there, we fast forward by about a decade to the early
That's cool.
1980s, when a Central California-based company called Async begins
Async.
researching electromagnetism. On May 10th, 1982, we see one such test of a strange electromagnetic device in the video Prototype.
Oh,
Over the
yeah?
next several years, Async would refine this prototype into Project KV-31, otherwise known as the Low Proximity Magnetic Distortion System. On July 2nd, 1988, Async performs a failed third test of the system, but it's their sixth test that really matters. On
Why?
October 17th, 1989 at 5:04 p.m. Pacific, they power up the system one more time and successfully open a portal to the Backrooms.
Yo,
have
they did
made
it.
first contact. However, this move has dire
that's how it is.
5:04 p.m. was the exact time of a real-world magnitude 6.9 earthquake that hit California, killing 63 and
Yikes.
injuring thousands more. All
Wow,
of this
shoot.
is confirmed in archival footage
It's
found
because
in
of
the
this?
secret video collateral.mov. And that's not the worst of it. From that point forward, the world is just glitched. Small, unseen portals into and out of the backroom start popping up everywhere. People begin no-clipping through reality, never to be
messed up.
seen again. Starting in October of 1989, the number of missing persons reports skyrockets. This is confirmed in
Yikes.
the video titled Missing Persons. Obvious video title is obvious. We soon learn that some of these portals are even big enough for entire cars to slip
yeah, you
through,
know.
like we see in a secret undated video that must come from around the same period. Meanwhile,
What?
back in lab,
I never
Async
saw that
begins to
video.
send in research teams.
That's
On
crazy.
February 3rd of 1990, they begin their first mission. Inside the Backrooms, this team of scientists discover the body of Nicholas Bolton, one of the people called out as having gone missing. Fun fact, the picture used for Bolton here is actually the senior photograph of Nathan Barnett, whom you might recognize as Dad from one of my other favorite creepy YouTube series that we've covered here on the channel several times. Go figure, it's almost like subscribing to this channel is a great way to learn about all the coolest series that you should be watching right now.
You know?
Random thought that popped into my head, but you know, the subscribe button is down below this video in case you want to use it. Interestingly, Nicholas's body is covered in what appears to be some sort of black, moldy growth. 2
Some
days
kind of
later, on February 5th, in the
fungus.
video autopsy report, the medical report on Bolton's body shows that it contains a mutant strain of Hay bacillus bacteria, which is
weird.
slowing decay of some parts of the body while completely overtaking others. The coroner
messed
questions
up.
Async about where they found this thing.
Mr. Beck, may I ask where this subject came from?
Which Async must not have liked. During this video, a bunch of images
Yikes.
flash across a CRT television,
Ah,
including
yeah.
one that states contract termination. Originally, I thought that this was a contract termination between Async and the US government, but I actually found a wider, clearer version of this exact
Really?
image in a trailer that Kane uploaded back when the Backrooms was just a school project. And the version of that document reads employment contract termination. So I'm guessing that the doctor started asking too many questions and was
Oof.
let go as a result. Next up on our timeline is
There
February
you go.
29th, 1990, and the upload informational video. Here we see Async send in another group of scientists. This is also
Yep.
the first appearance of actual named living characters. In the group, we have
Really?
Marvin Lee and the camera operator Peter Tench. During their mission, Tench
I didn't
gets
know.
distracted by voices coming from an
Yes,
unseen
and then he
party in a
lost.
nearby
He got
hallway.
lost.
He
That's
separates
it.
from the group briefly to
For a
investigate,
second.
but almost immediately he's met with a glitch that makes the rest of the team disappear.
Guys, do you hear this? Hey.
Without knowing
Boop.
it, Peter
That's it.
has jumped forward in time. We're gonna rejoin him in a minute. But back to the rest of the team. From Async's
Messed
perspective,
up.
Peter's team didn't disappear, Peter did. He just vanished into thin air. And so the rest presumably returned to headquarters to report his disappearance. We see the fallout of Peter going missing less than a week later, March 5th, 1990, in the video Motion Detected. Freaked out by an employee disappearing with no explanation, Async creates a new enclosed control room just on the other side of the Backrooms portal.
Yes.
They also rig up motion sensing cameras near the entrance to track everything that's coming and going throughout
There
the
was some
space.
shit flying,
It's a
I
good
remember.
thing they did too, because that night at 3:53
Yes.
a.m., they capture the image of a dark, blobby shape moving across the ceiling. We don't know it yet at this point in the timeline, but later we're gonna learn that this is likely
That
a black,
looks-
gooey monster made of a mutant strain of bacteria. The very
Oh,
same
shit.
bacteria that infected Nicholas Bolton. We know this
Yikes.
because Kane has posted a picture of the creature on his Ko-Fi account labeled Bacteria. We are definitely gonna see
That's
more from
him?
that guy later in the timeline. A little over 2 months later,
yeah.
on May 6th, 1990, another group of explorers are sent into the Backrooms in the video Pitfalls. This
Yes.
team consists of an unnamed woman, 2 men named Mark and George, and Marvin Lee, now manning the camera. The party comes across a strange room with several holes in the floor.
Yeah, and one of them
door
falls
across the
down.
gap. One of the men carefully crosses the expanse, opens the door, and discovers a greenish glow. Instead of just saying what he sees, he calls over to Marvin to record it.
Marvin, get the camera over here.
Across?
Alright, just hurry.
But as Marvin tries to cross the room, he falls
fall
into
down.
one of the holes into a lower level of the back rooms. There, he discovers an underground neighborhood
Yes!
complete with trees and
Oh,
houses and street
damn.
lights. But things are just a little bit off here. Houses are built strangely. Signs are mirror reversed. Deep inside one of the houses, Marvin finds a room where someone's clearly been living,
Yep.
but whoever was there, they're gone now. When he hears a voice that's crying out, he goes to investigate,
I better
only to
not.
be met with another bacteria monster. This one chasing Marvin back to the hole that he fell into.
That is not a person!
Thankfully,
Run!
Marvin's team's able to pull him back to safety and he escapes. The next
But he
video
coughed. He
report
coughed.
takes place immediately
He
afterwards,
coughed so much
with
after.
the team returning to Async's
He was coughing
headquarters
so
and
much.
sharing what Marvin found. This clearly concerns the Async staff, but because of the important upcoming presentation with the US government, they decide to just paper over the issue for the short term. A makeshift wall is constructed, sealing off the pitfalls area for the time being as they further fortify their control room. 2 days later, on May 8th, 1990, we get the upload presentation, where Async hosts several government officials to pitch them A-Space, their vision for the Backrooms, an
no.
infinite storage and living solution. And they're
Not
just
really.
pitching to any old US government officials. Notice the DOE watermark. These are representatives from the Department of Energy, including this guy right here who looks a lot like James Watkins, the real-world Secretary of Energy from this time period. During a video glitch back in Pitfalls,
Well,
we see
shit.
reverse text that reads, "to deceive the Fede," which likely extrapolates out to deceive the federal government. I'm betting that this is text of some sort of internal memo at
Ooh,
Async,
sus.
warning about deceiving the DOE during these negotiations. Regardless of any concern though, the presentation goes well. We see Async talking to the DOE about contracts afterwards, and one scientist confirms in a secret video that everything went according to plan.
Actually, that went perfectly. We've got all the initial signatures, and the contract should be executed by next week.
Except
Whoa.
there was something that didn't go quite according to plan that day.
Like what?
Remember Peter Tench, the Async researcher who glitched
Ah,
out and
yeah.
disappeared? Well, after witnessing his squad disappearing into thin air, Peter tried his best to get back to Async's headquarters
Yes.
without any sort of guideline. And he finds all sorts of weird stuff on his little adventure, including a section of
Yes.
wall removed to reveal a secret area with forest print wallpaper,
Weird, though.
farm equipment, and the facade of a house. Eventually, Peter's able to make his way back to the Backrooms exit, discovering the new control room that Async built after his disappearance. He's able to open it with his keycard, but it sets off a motion sensing alarm
Oh, shoot.
inside at the exact same time that Async is in contract negotiations with the
No.
DOE. We straight up see Peter in the Async control room from a security camera's perspective in the background. Just so we're all clear about what's exactly happening here, this is over 2 months after Peter disappeared.
Yo.
When he glitched, he actually traveled forward in time. This
Messed up.
really throws Async's leadership for a loop. In the hidden video recording 014, we hear a phone call between an Async researcher and his supervisor Ivan Beck, still on the same day, May 8th, 1990.
Wait,
Yes.
hold on. This isn't him, is it?
As this conversation
Yes,
continues,
it's
the
him.
image of a newspaper fades onto screen. When reversed, this headline clearly reads, "Fiery wreck beside Viney leaves one dead." Now, Viney is cut off and could refer to either a vineyard where they make wine or the town of Vineyard near Sacramento in central California. Either way, we can gather
That's
from
crazy.
the headline and the tone of the conversation that Async believed Peter was dead, and that after he disappeared,
Nope.
they covered it up by staging a car accident so Peter's family wouldn't ask any questions. And when Peter realizes what's happened, that he's traveled into the future and that his family thinks that he's dead, probably doesn't react all that well to
Ah,
it.
yeah,
There
you
was
know.
likely some conflict with Async's higher-ups, which resulted in Peter either escaping the facility back into the Backrooms, or Async just launched him back into the Backrooms because
That's
he
what I
was a
don't know.
security risk. One way or another, Peter winds up trapped back in the Backrooms, which leads us to the next video, Reunion. It's a few weeks later, May 25th,
Ah, yeah,
1990.
but he
After
shot
Marvin's
him.
encounter with the bacteria monster, Async uses a remote control rover to return to the Pitfalls room and confirm that it's safe. They send more explorers and scientists in, creating a safe walkway to the door on the other
Yes.
side. Of course, we still don't get to see what's behind that door. Async instead decides to send the cameraman Marvin along with Mark and another researcher to explore the area around the Pitfalls room. Now knowing that there's a dangerous creature that roams through these halls, Mark is armed with a
Oh
shotgun to protect the
no,
group.
that's the last episode.
Into that.
You wouldn't want to be on the other end of any gun, Marvin.
Yeah, that's probably true.
The trio head into a new area with no ceiling lights and floors made from white concrete epoxy instead of carpets. It's here that they discover evidence that someone's been living in this area. Tiles have been knocked off of the ceiling, seemingly as a trail to follow, and a map has been etched into one of the walls. However,
Weird.
before the group can really speculate about what's going on, they're ambushed by someone who grabs Mark's shotgun.
Peter?
Oh, shit.
Marv?
It's our old friend Peter Tench once again.
Oh, no.
He's been living back here since his escape or banishment from Async. Peter laments that Async basically took his life from him, asking if they held a funeral for him, if his family thinks that he's dead. The group confirms that yes, they did hold a funeral. Everyone thinks he's dead.
Oh, no.
Async is clearly keeping the fact that Peter Tench is alive secret from basically everyone. Despite
That's
being held at
messed up.
gunpoint, Mark calls for backup, only for Peter to shoot him and kill him as the video ends. At
Messed
this
up.
point, we hit a pretty significant time jump, with the next video being a secret archive video compiled over a year later.
Wait, there'll be
in
another
June
video?
of 1991. Nothing really noteworthy happens in it, I'm just including it for completionist's sake. If we want
Something
something
new.
really interesting though, we jump forward again to found footage number 2, taking place on August 19th, 1995.
That's
That is
when
over
it starts.
4 years after the archive
What?
video and over 5 since the events of Reunion. In found
What?
footage
It's
number
so
2, a girl in a
different.
suburban home discovers a
Really?
small portal into the back rooms hidden in her
Yeah?
garage.
God, it went into the...
After experimenting with it for a bit, she's pulled in. Inside the back rooms, she finds strange giant
Sadly.
furniture, a locked door that she can't open, and perhaps most strangely, a car crashed into a
Well,
wall.
she died.
This is
No,
clearly
she-
a car that no-clipped in from the real
Yep.
world. Now, I originally thought that this was the car that no-clipped off the freeway that we
Yes.
saw in a Secret Numbers video, but Kane confirms that it's actually a different vehicle. Given that Kane also confirmed that the Numbers car wasn't Margaret Watson's car like I previously thought, that means that at least 3 cars have no-clipped into the back rooms. If I had a nickel for every time that happened, I mean, I'd have 3 nickels. It's not a lot, but it is weird that it's happened at least 3 times. Anyway, the girl follows a trail of blood from the driver of the car
Well,
into an
shit.
area of the back
So
rooms
dark.
that looks more residential, but she doesn't find a body. Instead, she finds a room
Yeah.
overtaken by black vines. These aren't just any old, creepy plants.
Nope.
It's the bacteria monster, who comes to life and starts chasing the girl. She runs
Yeah.
back through everything that she's explored thus far, jumping down into a lower level that resembles indoor swimming pools.
Pool
Eventually,
rooms.
she winds up at a dead end, but before the monster can get her, the room is engulfed in a strange green
Yeah,
light
what the fuck is that?
causes the camera to black out. All of this leads us back to
Oh.
the very first video that Kane uploaded in the series, found footage number 1. In this video, recovered by
No.
Async on September 23rd, 1996, we see an indie movie director named Kane filming with his friends before he trips and no-clips into the back rooms. After exploring
shit,
around
that's
for a
the
bit,
first
finding
episode.
weird architecture, items that are completely out of place, and markings left by previous people who no-clipped in,
No
he encounters
fucking way, that's the
another bacteria
first-
monster. He runs away, chased by the creature before
Well,
being
yeah.
cornered and presumably killed. As the monster takes him, his camera falls down a hole, no-clipping back
Oh, no,
out
he's
of the
dead.
back rooms and into the real world. And while that's the end of the main uploads of the series, there is one final one that I should include in the timeline. The
What?
secret upload home27647.mov,
What the hell?
which likely takes place during the early 2000s.
Whoa!
It's just a home video with some glitchy sections and strange imagery, which I'm going to touch on in a moment. How do I know that it takes place in the aughts? Thanks to this frame right here. See that TV over on the right? This sort of flat screen CRT television with the silver casing was popular back in the early to mid 2000s, meaning that at least part of the video was filmed around that time. So, stepping
Oh.
back and looking at everything laid out here, the main story
That's
follows
how it
Async's
goes.
experiments, its employees, and
Thanks,
its impact
though.
on the world.
Shoot,
That
now we
much is
know.
obvious. But the more important story here seems to be the one that's hidden under the surface. Remember the green light that's popped up a few times over the series?
Yeah.
It appears most prominently towards the end of the timeline in found footage
Spooky.
number 2, but remember, it was also the first thing that we see in the series chronologically right now. In
Yo.
Overflow, a near identical looking green light fills whatever station we're in the early 70s.
Weird, though.
Considering that the building from Overflow shakes pretty darn
Got a
violently,
spooky one.
similar to what we see happening in Async's headquarters during First Contact, I
Wow,
believe
yeah.
that this was some sort of portal opening at least briefly into the back rooms. And not just any type of portal either, a time portal. And given how similar it looks to what we see
Shush.
surrounding the girl in found footage number 2, I wouldn't be surprised if she or her camera were sent back in time to the early 70s. I know
What?
this sounds
That's
crazy,
insane.
but we already are aware that time acts strangely in the back rooms. One of the major events of the series is Peter slipping forward in time by several months, so we know that things can be physically transported in time in this universe. We also know that
Crazy,
things from
though.
the future can intrude in the past. In previous theories, we've discussed how one of the secret videos showed us a cough medicine commercial from the early 2000s interrupting a Simpsons episode that aired in the early 90s.
That's the downside. Now here's the good part.
We can also hear a news broadcast from 2015
What the
during the
fuck?
Pitfalls video, a video that happened
Wait,
25
Simpsons?
years before
Seriously?
that broadcast ever aired.
Wait, do you think it's actually real,
Your
though?
current president, President Castro, will come visit the United States?
Taking that to its logical conclusion, something physically entering the Backrooms and then exiting at some point in the past is entirely possible. Additionally, remember the name
Messed
on
up,
that
though.
document from Overflow? Ivan Beck. Kane zooms in
Hey,
real
you
close
see my
to make
face.
sure that we remember that one real good. Ivan Beck. Now, why does that name sound so familiar?
I'm trying to get hold of my supervisor, Ivan Beck.
Mr.
Yeah?
Beck, may I ask where this subject came from?
Oh yeah,
Ivan
true.
Beck is a high-ranking async official. I think that this girl from Found Footage 2, or at the very least her camera, made it back to the 1970s and into the hands of Ivan Beck.
No
and an
fucking
early
way.
async. That could be the whole inciting
That's
incident of the
crazy.
series, creating some sort of time loop paradox. Async gets a hold of this footage of the Backrooms, which then makes them want to explore it. They open the gateway,
Oh,
which breaks
shit.
reality, and eventually this girl no-clips in, winding up back in time, starting the loop over. This might even explain the name of the video, Overflow. Time is literally overflowing and running over the edge. What's more, during their exploration, Async may have just found themselves another time portal.
That's
the
messed
only other time that we see a
up.
greenish glow in the series is behind the door across the room in Pitfalls. And get a load of this. As Marvin is falling down the hole in that video, we see a camera glitch and text hidden within that reads, quote, "While data
No.
could be inferred from the readings, nobody knew what would actually be found on the other side." What if what they found was a portal to another time and place? That would certainly fit our description. Either way, whatever
That's
Async
insane.
is doing, it is bad for the rest of us. One of the stranger moments of the series up until now has been this extended shot from the very beginning of Reunion, focusing on a coffee cup with the letters MLML and some coordinates on the front. Now at first I thought this might be some Roman numeral, but it's not actually a valid Roman numeral. You can't have MLM as a sequence in Roman numerals. So I opened up our trusty old Google Maps and
Yes?
typed in the coordinates, giving us the rough location of the real world Moss Landing Marine Laboratories. So that solves the MLML
No.
mystery, and a bit more digging shows us that this
They
logo
found
is
it?
actually a riff on a real one that Moss Landing has used in the past. But the ocean messaging doesn't end with MLML. In
That's
fact, I
real life
believe that we
shit,
can actually
dude.
decode the biggest theme of the series
That's
based
some
on the
real
video
life
just
stuff.
drowning in ocean metaphors. You may have noticed that I haven't mentioned one of the mainline videos of the Backrooms canon yet. I remember. Well, that's largely because we don't know where this one slots into the timeline. There's no date associated with it, so there's really no place to put it. In fact, not really sure that
That's-
the quote-unquote
I'm-
events
I mean,
that take
I'm-
place in
I'm
this
mind
video
blown.
are literal. The whole thing is just renderings of important places and people to Async and Backrooms lore, angled and reflected like Inception or Doctor Strange, all as a voiceover narration reads a poetic passage. It's more of an artistic piece really, but it is considered part of the Backrooms canon. And here's the thing, the voiceover also has an ocean theme, just like that MLML reference. Just listen to what it says.
I had a home once, a manor overlooking the sea, but when skies turned dark, the house was taken by the sea, cast down.
Oh,
to the
MLML.
seabed with all
MLML.
the forgotten things.
All spoken as we see images of the ocean, but also really take in what this video's saying. The speaker had a home that sat beside the sea, but it collapsed into it and sank to the bottom. Forgotten.
Wow,
This
okay.
is clearly a metaphor. We're not talking about houses and oceans, we're talking about the world and the Backrooms and Async's experiments making the world more and more unstable. Remember when I called out the
Sure.
last shot of Overflow? After the green light flares up and something from the Backrooms is sent back in time to here, we see the sky reflected at the earliest
That's
possible
insane,
point
though.
in our timeline without any other async experiments that we know of. But afterwards, we get more and more of that reflected imagery in I Remember as Async continues their experiments. This is even reflected in another line from I Remember.
But I remember fleeting shells sinking ever slowly, folding downwards into themselves, forever tearing along the seams of the sky until nothing remains.
Where did he find this? Question to everybody.
The reflections,
Where did he
those
find
are
this
the
audio?
seams along the sky. The tears in reality as everything starts to fall apart. This might have even happened before, in a previous reality or simulation
It's insane
of our
to me,
world.
though.
In found footage number 2, we see parts of a home inside the Backrooms as the girl explores
Yes,
the area.
that's
including
true.
this part here with a strange banister and
Is that the house that fell down
the
the
empty
ocean?
room. Here's the thing. This is almost identical to a room that we see in the secret Home 27647.
Where did you find this?
Notice the unique bars on the railing?
Wait,
The way
well,
there's
yeah?
an open air entrance in the room behind it and a door off the right wall.
What
This
the
is
hell?
same architecture, but
Yeah?
one is in the Backrooms and one is in our real world. Want more proof? The girl takes a prolonged look
Yes.
at this painting before the bacteria monster wakes up and starts chasing her. And in the secret video, we again get a prolonged
It's the
look
same
at that
house.
very same painting in the home. And remember, based on the TV we see here, this video was likely taken in the 2000s, several years before Found Footage 2 takes place. So how could these details be in the Backrooms now? Is it another
Yeah.
time loop situation? Maybe. Or maybe it's because these are from previous iterations of our world, of the simulation that was destabilized and collapsed into the Backrooms. In other words, the house that fell into the sea. There's a map
Hey,
shown in
that
the
is-
Home 27647 video of the Ptolemaic system, a geocentric model of the universe that suggests that the Earth is the unmoving center of everything. And isn't it interesting that this very specific map that Kane chose to include in this video is very yellow? The last line, and I remember, is,
Always been here.
"You have always been here." Everything revolves around the Backrooms, whether it be in a time loop or a simulation or both. It's the center of everything in the world, and Async's meddling has doomed the world to collapse into the
I can
Backrooms
imagine.
once again. The house to fall back into the sea
That
once
is
again.
insane.
You have always been here. In this series, in this world, the Backrooms has always been a part of it. We're just the layer on top waiting to collapse down into it. And laying out the
Imagine.
story Kane's trying to tell here doesn't feel like our world.
Very
has
well
that much
made.
time
I love
left.
this editing.
But
How?
hey,
I don't know.
That's
cool.
just a theory.
No.
A film theory. And cut.
That's just reality. A true reality of Backrooms.
And hey, remember when I mentioned the Dad channel earlier in this episode? If you want to check out us decoding the mysteries of the Dad Feels channel here on YouTube, that video's on the left. If you enjoy the Backrooms, you'll probably enjoy that one too. Or you can just click the subscribe button on the right. Pretty soon, YouTube might have to get rid of its recommendation algorithm because of some lawsuit that's going on. So if you ever want to find this channel again,
what?
of the Dad Feels channel here on YouTube, that video's on the left. If you enjoy the Backrooms, you'll probably enjoy that one too. Or you can just click the subscribe button on the right. Pretty soon,
YouTube might have to get rid of it. Its recommendation algorithm.
YouTube might have to get rid of its recommendation algorithm because of some
lawsuit that's going on. So you ever want to find this channel again? Fuck, that's why my channel's kind of dead.
lawsuit that's going on. So if you ever want to find this channel again, subscribe now, or, we'll just disappear into the Backrooms with the billions of other videos. That's a big change that may happen at some point later this year. So go subscribe to a channel that you're going to enjoy most of the content from.
Oh, that's just sad, dude. I didn't expect that. That's why I'm like thinking, why is my videos like so low, like very low views, dude? Before it used to perform not bad. Now I'm roughly getting 300 views per video when before I used to get 1,000, at least 1,200. Yikes, dude. Anyway, lads, hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, share this video if you can. Tell friends about the channel. Or please do that, Or subscribe at least the last time, because maybe you'll not see me in future, Because I'm gonna be gone from our system, You would not be able to find me. I saw a long ago a comment saying I saw your video last time 2 years ago. I'm like, but I'm still here. I'm still making videos every day. But they just don't know about it anymore. That's what makes me insane. Like it makes me crazy about it. Like it's just going on. I'm just gone. Anyway, lads, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again today with another video from my Skychrew channel, second channel. So check that out as well. Have a nice day.
Killing 63 and injuring thousands more. All of this is confirmed in archival footage found in the secret video collateral.mov. And that's not the worst of it. From that point forward, the world is just glitched. Small, unseen portals into and out of the backroom start popping up everywhere. People begin no-clipping through reality, never to be seen again. Starting in October of